Hey, this is Super Tennis for the Super Nintendo. In just a few weeks' time, the new Mario Tennis game called Aces will be released for the Nintendo Switch. So while I'm waiting, I thought it'd be the perfect time to go back and check out one of the classic tennis games on the Super Nintendo, one that set the standard for great tennis games to come. And this really is a great tennis game. It was released in the first year of the SNES's launch, and quite possibly over the 7 or so years of game releases on the SNES, this one retained its place as the best tennis game for the system. The game is super challenging and requires lots of play to master. It has great ball physics, a huge roster of playable characters, and great realistic sound effects and more. And it's today's subject on SideQuest. There once was a time before Mario hosted just about every tennis game on a Nintendo console. In those ages, Nintendo would release a tennis game to demonstrate the capabilities of the system it's on, such as the nature of Super Tennis, which was released in the Super Nintendo's launch year. Tennis preceded it on the NES and Game Boy, but this isn't just tennis, this is Super Tennis. It featured state-of-the-art Mode 7 technology and provided players with a realistic game of racket and ball. Granted, there are no bells and whistles beyond the basic package. What you see is what you get. This is tennis in its purest form. Nothing more, nothing less. Still, in Super Tennis's case, that could be only a good thing. Given that this game was developed by Toes rather than Mario Tennis Extraordinaire Camelot, players familiar with the latter may struggle with the different feel of Super Tennis at first. However, if you were to give it some time, you'd find yourself with a rather robust take on the sport. Everything is portrayed just as one would hope. The courts are detailed, the characters are varied, and the punchy sound design is leagues above the NES's beeps and boops. There are 3 modes of play that are available: one player versus computer, one player versus a second player, and circuit. You could play in singles or double courts, and you can take on a series of matches via the circuit mode. This thing is the closest there is to a campaign, complete with password saves, of course, so you can safely bet the most of your mileage will come from that. It's also why you should train yourself to become a Super Tennis master. A lot of opponents means a lot of subtly differing gameplay approaches. The ball may bounce on one court differently from another, and the characters may even bring their own traits to the table. The opponents can also get quite challenging, but that's all the reason you would need to practice and improve your skills. Learn the various kinds of swings you could do with the 4 face buttons on the controller. Utilize the D-pad to influence the direction you fire the ball. Study the game close to get the most out of it. The result is a compelling experience that fans of the sport are bound to get a kick out of. It's a textbook example of age being a state of mind. No matter how old the game is, Super Tennis continues to stack up well against today's simulations when it comes to providing a solid game of tennis. It takes a little practice, but practice makes perfect. Even then, it can be good casual fun to duke it out with a friend or relative. Whatever the case may be, this is a stellar addition for your SNES library. Just don't expect to figure it out completely as soon as you conquer your first match. Hey, thanks for checking out this video all about Super Tennis for the Super Nintendo. Recently, my son and I started playing tennis at the courts at the park near our house, but it's not so much tennis as it is him hitting the ball like crazy and me chasing and running after the ball for hours. As difficult as that is, it's no match for how difficult this game was for me. But I'm invested in getting better and happy to do so. That's where this game is brilliant. I'm excited to learn how to control the ball and counter it back strategically, and maybe even someday win a match. Until then, let me know your thoughts on Super Tennis in the comments. Have you played it? Is there a better tennis game for the SNES? Do you have plans to pick up the new Mario Tennis for the Switch? I would love to hear from you and chat a bit. And until next time, I'll see you in my next video.